Hello, everybody, and we're live on the Talk to Audrey show. Thank you for spending some time with us today, tonight, this evening, wherever you're looking from. And actually, we're about to start with our special guest this evening. In Amsterdam, it is 8:32, so we're about to start. And I know that many of you are on holidays here in the Netherlands, and some of you are, maybe still working because across the pond it's in the afternoon. So we're going to wait just a little bit. I see that Jurgen's already on his way watching us. I don't want to wait, and I'm going to start talking to Jurgen, and we'll just see you when you're there. Let's invite him. Okay, let's see. I love this because God knows how do you invite Jurgen. You're okay. I see Jurgen. You got to ask me to go ahead and join me. Let's see this. So Jurgen, if you request to go ahead and join, then I can add you. I love Instagram Live because I'm learning as we go. So there he is. Don't you just love this? Thank you. Thank you for joining me. I'm not good at stuff like this.
Oh, I'm welcome to the club, sweetie. Welcome to the club. Just as bad.
Thanks. So it's you and me. It's you and me. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for being here. Thank you for
it's a
being
pleasure to
here.
be here.
It's great to see you. Look, I put my colorful blouse on for you. I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
you're
I thought I would go for the summery color as well, and I
you're
put a
great. You're
picture
tan. The
yeah. I know. I just came in from France. I went with my wife Sheila. We went on a wine trip for 4 days to Bourgogne, and it was
you did.
wonderful. So yeah,
Oh,
it was absolutely
amazing.
great.
Amazing. I
Yeah.
love it. Well, I'm glad that my timing was wonderful and my timing's great. So I see a bunch of people coming in from all over the place, so that makes me happy. It's great that people are joining us. Like I said, here in the Netherlands, it's a holiday. It's Ascension Day, which is in Dutch we call it Hemelvaart. Um, so I
Hey,
don't know
Leonard.
if you do you have anything with holidays? Well, I actually hold that question because
Mhm.
what I'm doing is I see a lot of people coming in, and I just want to wait for a second before I introduce you because some people across the pond and internationally may not know yet who you are. I will repeat myself and tell you you're an actor, you're a singer, you're a stand-up comedian, you are you've lived all over the way. You're a presenter. Wait, let me see my ear. Um, you've done cabaret, you have had your own shows, and you've had a lot of interesting people on in your own shows, but you're much more than that. And on the post of people letting people know that you're going to be on here, I wrote, or at least we wrote, the man behind the smile, and I'll tell you in a minute why I did that. But let me slowly start because I know you're always smiling, and I know that smiling is a great thing. It's good for your skin. It's good for everything. But I want to know what's behind that. So
Yeah.
first of all, correct me if I'm wrong, and God please, sometimes people correct me. 55.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
know. I'm a couple of months older than you because I know your birthday's coming up in a couple of
Yeah.
months.
Yeah,
You're
you've
some.
always been as long as I know, you've always been a couple of months older. So
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh gosh, thanks.
I
You're gonna
try to
rub it
beat you
in.
to it, but I could never
You
make it
know,
past.
it's
So yeah,
it's funny because I used to wear my last glasses were with the black rim, so now I've got thinner glasses. So now I'm hoping that makes me look younger. So let me put it this way: I'm a couple of months older than you. You're right. You're right. 55 years young. Let's say it that way. Born in
yeah,
Amsterdam, which a lot of people don't know. So for those people that do know that you're born in Amsterdam, you actually lived in Suriname, and we'll get back to that. And left the Netherlands when you were 8 months, and then to Suriname, and then came back later. But I'd like to ask you about that in a little bit. You are married to Sheila. Do you say
hmm
Sheila or Sheila? Sheila?
Shayla.
Shyla,
Yeah,
because a
that's
lot of
what I
people
say.
say Sheila.
Okay,
Shyla.
I
I
said
hope
the name
she.
out loud that she looked at me from across the room. So what?
Okay. Oh,
But
she
actually
come
thought
say hi. She come say hi. I just.
Oh no,
That's
she's there
people.
with her daughter. She's there with her daughter. They're
That's
catching up
fine.
on all the stories that we went through during our vacation. So it's okay.
During your vacation, so they're
Yeah,
catching up. So that's good. Well, speaking of daughters, so two amazing, beautiful daughters, Melody,
yeah,
28, and Jalissa, who is 24. You are, besides being a father, you studied at the Erasmus Universiteit in Rotterdam. Um, economics. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm not
yeah.
making any jokes. Uh, I hear you're obsessed with something called the bastard. I didn't even know it was called the bastard. I call it the black green egg. Sorry about that. So
Well, it's
you'll have
just
to
a
go.
name. Yeah,
It's the name.
yeah, it's a name because it's a kind of barbecue. It's in an egg shape. But the brand that I use is the Bastard, which is actually
Ah,
the best brand. And man, it's my newfound love. I just love roasting meat. I just love going to the supermarket, get me some duck, some rib eye or some steak,
oh god.
even some shrimps, and just throw it on the grill, man. I guess
Oh.
that's the man in me. I guess men have that. We always like to be. We say maybe something of the caveman within us that still likes to fry
Oh
some meat
gosh.
sometimes, even though we didn't kill it ourselves, we still love it.
You're gonna hurt a lot of guys that are now that have gone vegan and that have gone pescatarian, all kinds of things. I feel a whole bunch of new jokes coming up. Okay, so I'm looking at my cheat sheet. Not only obsessed with the bastard grill, I hear you hate it when when people drive slow in the left-hand lane.
Yeah.
So I won't be. I've driven with you in the car before, and I think I'm gonna have to let people know. So God forbid, I don't remember one thing. And so I'm not to laugh. So if people see nice and tiny circles, there's a great ring because don't we all do that in my glasses? So let me put it this way. Your mom babysat me and my mom babysat you. Do you
Yeah.
remember any of this?
No, I was too small, but I
So
remember
was
my mom
I.
always reminds me, so I do remember, yeah. And of
I
course,
know.
Tante Capi always tells me, so yeah, I know.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So of course, speaking of, your wonderful mom, Auntie Carla, who I call, it's funny when I tell her my last name, she goes, "Girl, I babysat you." She has the same voice as you. She's the same person as you. Not only does your mom have that, but your children have that too.
Yeah,
Especially Melody has that.
yeah,
You guys are
definitely.
the same thing. So, let me put it this way. For people who don't know who you are, you're a successful, you've got multiple careers, a successful comedian. And like I said, for people coming in right now, a singer, actor, presenter, you played in cabaret theaters, had your own shows. I think that maybe that's a stamp that you'll always get because it's something you're very good at. And I know that a lot of your colleagues who are also stand up comedians speak very highly of you. I've been listening to some of the podcasts and some of the interviews, which I really like because that for me is the best way to listen and learn about, how someone is. I know that you studied cabaret at school, so let's go back. So, born in Amsterdam, 8 months going to Suriname. Can you take us back and just tell me a little bit about what happened when once you landed there, as we say, and then got older?
Well, actually, I can't remember anything because I was like 7, 8 months old when we went back to Suriname.
Mm,
So I remember growing up in Suriname, and my earliest memories are of my child age growing up there. And I grew up in a very well-to-do family. My dad was an accountant, had his own business, and yeah, I went to great schools. We went to country clubs like Owasso, where we enjoyed everything that a kid enjoys at
mhm.
that age, sports, games, anything I wished for, I had. I was a bit of a spoiled brat, but I think I was 4 years old in Suriname when I already discovered my passion in life. This was standing on a stage because I joined a fashion show in Oase. And I
Oh, you
remember
did.
walking on the stage, and when I walked on the stage, I met all the girls and the young ladies cheering for me, Jörgen, Jörgen, and that's a moment that I knew this is
How
what I
old
want
were
to
you?
do for the rest of. I think it was like 4, but I can still
Oh
remember
my
the
God.
feeling, like the goosebumps I got when the crowd started roaring. So I think that's something that stuck with me, and I ever since always did if it was possible, either at the was or at school, I always joined with plays and what we call the Bonte Avenue, which are like the nights where everybody does talent nights. Actually,
Talent
I always
nights.
joined the talent
Yeah.
nights,
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's where it all started for me, where I found my passion. And as I grew older, I wanted to go to the yeah to the toneel school here in Rotterdam in
Mm-hmm.
Amsterdam,
Theater school. Mm-hmm.
to the theater school here in Amsterdam. But yeah, by then we got a triple A choice when you had to go study, and the choice was either you become a arts, which is a physician, you become an architect, or you become an advocate, which is a lawyer. So
Oh.
yeah, it took a while for me to convince my parents that there was a fourth A, which is artist, which I could add to the list. But by then I already did my study. I already tried my study actually in Rotterdam when I came to Holland after I did my middle school.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I tried studying, but the study never got to me because it was during my study that I actually met the Rotterdam International Student Cabaret Group,
Mm-hmm.
which actually brought me back to the theater, and I started doing more theater, started working in a restaurant, and I actually never finished uh, my my studies, but. I think it taught me a lot because I did a bit of economics, I did a bit of law, and
Mm-hmm.
the day I'm using both of them as I'm in my post theater, let's say my post theater career where I'm doing
You're
much more of yeah,
you're in
I'm
your
doing more
post
like
theater career now?
in my post theater career. I'm doing still doing some theater, but more as a hobby. But I'm
Yeah,
more
I
into
want to talk about
consultancy
that.
right now. Yeah,
So the interesting thing is, so what you're saying is you went to obviously an amazing good school, and so because the reason you came back from Suriname is to go to the Erasmus school, correct?
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I
And
went to see
and
Erasmus. Yeah,
how is that for your parents? Because this show is about what the International Foundation does to the person we are now. We are the way we were raised, the way, our parents taught us to be. Some of us,
hmm
I traveled a lot, so I was not with my parents a lot. Also, that had a lot of effect. The reason why I made the company. For me, I want to know. I mean, when somebody told me a little secret that when you went to the Erasmus University, your mom told me, um, she had to kind of like, oomph. My child is going to Rotterdam and is going to the Netherlands, is going to a school. I mean,
hmm
obviously, when you started studying there, how old were you?
I was 18, turning 19. It was the
Mm-hmm.
summer that I turned 19 and came to Rotterdam to study. And yeah, it was actually kind of culture shock for me because I was living with family in Gouda and I took the train every day to Rotterdam to study. But
Mm-hmm.
after a year, yeah, it didn't really work out with the family. So I had to go live with friends first and then live with somebody else and then finally find a
Oh,
student.
okay.
So it
Mm-hmm.
was for me, it was really finding my way the first years here in Rotterdam. And maybe that's why I didn't also finish the study because I never really knew what to expect when I came here to study. It was like, my dad was an accountant, so well, I'll become an accountant too. But
So you'll become an
sure,
accountant,
why
right?
not? Yeah, that's the main reason why I came to study. But if
Mm-hmm.
you come to study, but the passion is not in it, you'll get a lot of subtractions and a lot of things that were really getting my attention that were what my attention wasn't worthy of, but I gave it a lot of attention. So I was
You,
more into the party modes and
you just kind
some
of went the other
hanging
way.
with the wrong people. Yeah, I went all the way, and
Oh,
actually,
oh,
after a few months of coming to study to
oh.
Rotterdam,
Mm-hmm.
my sister died in Suriname, which was quite of a shock for me because yeah, she was the last one I said goodbye to when I left home.
How
And
old
when
was
that came
she?
in, she was 23.
Can you tell us a
And
little bit more? Yeah.
yeah, sure. She was 23, and Peggy, she had a heart attack, and it was like a week before her daughter was going to turn 1 year old, Teresa. So
Mm-hmm.
it was quite a shock for the family. It came in quite hard for me back then, and I remember coming home from university, and I was in quite a good mood. It was the 5th of December, so I was singing Sinterklaasliedjes and
Oh
things like
God.
that. And I came in, and my uncle told me, "Listen, come in the room with me." And he put something in my mouth. He said, "Just don't ask, just swallow." And I swallowed it, and then he gave me the news. And then he told me, "I just give you Valium, so you stay calm and you can." And I was really happy he did because I
So
felt
you
like my
got a
mind was going to
Valium
explode.
pill and then was told
Well,
that your
yeah,
sister died.
I died. My sister was 23 years old, which was for me, I couldn't comprehend it in any way. So I went to Suriname as quickly as possible. Saw my sister there in the coffin and saw her little baby, and yeah, it changed something in my life. It changed, I think, it gave me more of a feeling that life is short, and that
Mm-hmm.
I was quite mad at the world. So when I returned back to Holland, then after do my studies, my girlfriend back then also stopped the relationship and started going out with someone else.
That all
And
happened all
that all
together.
happened all together, and I got into this roller coaster of negative emotions, and that's where it almost, yeah, I started using and abusing. And then I met Sheila, thank God, and she was the one that said, "Listen, boy, you got so much going on for you. You have a mom that loves you. I love you, and
Mm-hmm.
we can build a great future together. So step out of it." And she was the one that
Okay,
actually convinced me to step out of it.
Jürgen, you're going like 10 steps ahead because it
I'm
was
sorry.
no, 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 don't be sorry. It's your
Hmm.
I'm listening. I'm listening. I knew there was going to be a lot to talk about. Um, I'm just thinking, and also to give the time of your sister when your sister, and thank you, Positivity for the Heart for Jurgen, who was just given
Appreciate it.
on
Yeah.
the Instagram live. Very nice. I think it's a story that and that's why I said the man behind the smile, because everyone that has, laughter and cabaret and comedy in their life, there's always a flip side. I know you remember, you have a remembrance
Mm.
every year for your sister, correct?
Yeah.
You said it changed your life, and of course it changes your life. Do you mean by the fact that it changed your life that you were hit with a shock that you know that life is too short? Or were there
Yeah,
other
and
things that also changed your life
other
besides,
things also. I
yeah?
mean, I felt like, how long do I have to live? I mean, she was 4 years older than
Mm,
I am, so I was in a constant scare that there was something wrong with my heart, maybe. But
oh, really?
on the other hand, I also felt a responsibility to take care of my mom, because I have to go back a few years. This happened in '85,
Mm-hmm.
whereas in '80, my dad got this. He got this. I said it.
Say it in
Zenuwinzinking. He got
Dutch.
this zenuwinzinking.
I don't know if it's oh God, now I'm thinking of the Dutch word. Somebody help us on
Yeah, you know what I
Instagram
mean.
Live.
Anyway, yeah.
What's the English
But
word for sane and sinking?
it led to
Yeah.
a cardiac arrest. And the cardiac arrest gave my dad brain damage. So when I
Oh
was
God.
14 years old, my great hero, that the guy that I really looked up to, came home with a state of mind of an 8-year-old, and I had to teach my dad how to wear his clothes again, how to write his name, everything. And so I had to
The
grow up really
roles were
fast. I
switched
had to grow up
around. You
really
became the
fast. Yeah,
parent.
I
Is
became the
this the
parent, and
reason? Is this the reason, Jurgen, why I can't compare, but I have one or two things in my life that the reason why I love to laugh and enjoy life. Is this the reason why not only you stayed with comedy and in so many different levels and laugh and everything? Is this also really who you are? Laughing all the time because enjoying, because one, two, three, one after the other, it can go like many of us do. Or is it something in your character anyway, and that they did the two meet?
I think it's something definitely in my character, but the two met also.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I firmly believe that without sorrow, you don't know true laughter. You don't know true
True.
happiness without true sorrow.
True.
And losing my father figure at an early age, losing my sister at an early age, it really helped me grow up early, but it also helped me to see quite early that there's so much more to life that you have to make yourself.
Right?
That isn't done for you. That you shouldn't take things for granted. That everything you work for, you
Nope.
earn. That you should enjoy it and be happy of the good things in life. So at quite an early age, I already learned that. For me, that was quite important to make sure that yeah, no matter what happened, shit is always gonna come your way, but
Mm-hmm.
enjoy the good things in life and be happy for your
Right.
problems, because the only people I know without problems are the people that are actually dead. Because yeah, I mean, all of us that are alive have problems. We're not
Yeah.
different from nobody else. Some of us We go through to deeper sorrows early in life, some
Yeah.
of us later in life, but we all go through that we all go through loss, we all go
Mm-hmm.
through sorrow, to heartbreak.
Mm-hmm.
These are all emotions we go through, and I went through them quite early, which made me grow up earlier. But
Yeah.
it also made me realize that I really have to enjoy life as well, because the sorrow will be there no
And
matter what.
boy, do you enjoy life. Okay,
Oh
let's
yes,
do
I do.
a 180 and switch
Mhm.
and just
Okay.
thank you. No, first of all, thank you for sharing that. I think it's important for people, and I think it's important for comedians also, for people that are going to be watching this, that are thinking of a career in stand-up comedy, that comedy doesn't only come from comedy. You know, it comes from
No,
life experience. Who am I? Because I'm not a stand-up comedian, but
no, but it's
um,
true.
it it comes from life experience, right? And it becomes it. Is it always? Do people always expect you to be laughing? I mean, it's a question that's I'm sure it's been asked
Yeah,
before
yeah.
every day. What
I've
happens
had
if you
that.
don't laugh? Sorry.
No, I just tell them, listen, I can't be laughing all day long because that would make
Mm-mm.
me an idiot. But I'm really honest about it. But so I have the weirdest places where people ask me to if why I'm so serious. I mean, I
Uh,
was at a funeral and somebody
uh,
said to me, "Why are you so serious?" I said, "I'm excuse me, my aunt just died. I'm really sorry
oh,
that I'm not laughing right now. But
what are you supposed to meant to be
see me
laugh?
after class. I'll try to see if I can
Oh
laugh for
my
you in
god! Oh my
private."
god! Oh my god!
Yeah.
Speaking of not only laughter but things like that, I have to switch completely because not only do you love your family, and I know, listen, I know those group apps. I know everything goes on. I also know that you seem to be somebody who have absolute crazy WhatsApp chats with your daughters. So
Yeah.
that's another story. That's another story. It's very interesting to me. Something completely different. When I say to you, Sammy, Leo, Laika, Tina, Chola, Nestor,
Yeah.
you've had like
Yeah.
how many are there? Four, five, six, seven dogs? Is
Yeah,
is that
those are
what
wonderful
happened?
because at a certain moment in Suriname we had like 11 dogs or something like that.
Oh my God.
But the ones you called like Chola, like Tina,
Uh-huh.
Mestor, Leo, and definitely Sammy.
Uh-huh.
Those are the most important, definitely. Yeah, those are the ones that actually they're actually can call my dogs. You know, the dogs that really have
Yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah.
Also, also Boston. But Boston was my first dog when I was a kid. I had this Bouffier, and I always had a love for dogs. And even now, I mean, yesterday I came in from France, and
Mm-hmm.
I drove 9 hours. It took us 9 hours to get there because I had to go pick up my dog first, all the way in the
Oh,
east,
okay. You have
and then
Sammy now, right? Or
I
is
have
it
Sammy now, yeah. And
Sammy
Sammy
now?
was staying at a pension at Ingen. Ingen is somewhere near Culemborg. So I had to
Uh-huh.
drive from France to
Some
Culemborg,
people
pick up
call
my
it.
dog, and then come back to Almere. And yesterday
Oh my
was
God,
like
for the
the
love of the
busiest
dogs.
day. It was the busiest day in traffic. So
Yeah.
we
The
were supposed
reason
to do, yeah, we were supposed to take like 6 hours max to do the drive. It took us more than 9 hours to get here.
nine
So
hours.
yeah,
So you go pick up your dog. Listen, a lot of people do this. I know, especially in Holland, a lot of people do this, and I'm sure all over the world, a lot of people do this. But the reason why I ask you about the dogs is when did this start? Is it also a sort of kind of unrequited, love that you're getting from animals that because obviously dogs speak the truth just like little kids. I know you have grown women around you. You're surrounded by, women.
yeah.
Um, I don't. What is the thing? Is it just a culture thing? I know it's weird. It's because culture. What it's not
No,
a Dutch
because no,
thing.
I mean we have dogs in the house. I mean Leo and Sammy actually live. Leo, we don't have Leo anymore, but Sammy lives inside. And
Hmm.
in Surinamese culture, you don't keep a dog outside. In Suriname, the dog is for outside. It's for
The
protection.
and
You
is it
don't keep
because
them
it's for
inside.
protection? It's
It's
not your
for
buddy,
protection. No,
right?
it's not your
Right.
body. But
Well,
I learned that all my dogs, ever since I was a kid, even the dogs that weren't allowed to come inside, they were always my buddy. So I always
uh-huh.
had a special connection with animals. And the thing with dogs is, I mean, they love you. Um, how should I say it? Onvoorwaardelijk.
Yeah, yeah, unrequited. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Pure love, and
it's so
that's why
pure.
you have them
And
around.
that's why I have them around. And I always make the comparison. Say, listen, if you want to see how much, how truly a dog loves you, how much he loves you, lock him inside your trunk for an hour and open your trunk again, and he'll be happy to see you. He'll be happy to see you. He will kiss you, will lick your face. Now, try the same thing with your wife, and I'll believe you. You'll die. She will kill you. So,
Jurgen, locking the door. I mean, I don't want to be like, oh, that's the show where Jurgen said, he locks his dogs in
no,
the car.
no, I
No,
never
let's go.
did that. I
We're
never did
switching. We're
that. But I
switching.
was just, I know, I never did that. Believe me, I never did that. But
I
I
hear.
mean,
Okay.
if you would
God
do that,
help
it's
you.
undevotional. Yeah, yeah,
I'll come
that's
get
true.
you if you do
Thank
that.
you, Rock.
No, no, I want to
Thank
go
you,
back.
Rohit.
Yeah, yeah. You were talking about how you met Shada. Tell me,
Hmm.
because behind every strong man is an even stronger woman, I say. Tell me how you met your wife. Tell me
Well,
how
she's
and
not
what.
standing, behind me. She's standing beside me because that's where
Thank
her
you.
place
You're
is,
right.
not
You're
behind me.
right. You're so right.
So yeah, so well, we knew each other back in middle school, but then we didn't. Yeah, I mean, we were in
Was
different
she
friend
interested?
groups. We were in different friend groups. I think we looked longer than a few seconds once in a while, but nothing ever happened. And then she came to study in Holland, and I saw her when she came in the university. And yeah, for me back then it hit me like a
Boom.
thunderstorm, like boom. And I knew I found my soulmate. And yeah, ever since, I mean, that was in '87, and May 19th we celebrated our 29th anniversary, and October
Wow.
30th we are celebrating our 35 years as boyfriend and girlfriend.
And you know what they say, obviously, and it's funny when I went to Curacao and I saw a place called Hillywood, I died
Hmm.
laughing instead of Hollywood. So Hillywood. So obviously people are gonna ask, what's the secret? You've been asked before, what's the secret of being together? And I mean, and not the answer that everyone hears,
Hmm.
listen to each other, everything. What do you really think? Because
I
you've
think
gone
the real
through
secret
everything.
is the secret is that if you ask Shea why she loves me, she will tell you because I love her, and it's the same way around. But I think the most important secret for us is, and it's not a secret, it's actually, if you think about it, it's the easiest thing to understand, is that we never try to change each other. I mean, when you fall in
Mm,
love for the first time, you fall in love with the ideal person. This is the person that you're head over heels with.
yep,
She has everything you want. And the first
exactly.
thing you start doing in a relationship is uh, putting up restrictions, telling her, I don't want you to wear this makeup anymore. I don't want you to wear those short skirts anymore. I want you to wear your hair differently.
Does that happen?
She
Oh,
starts
okay.
telling you, I don't like it when you go out with your friends all the time, and I would like you to stay home more often. And I think you really shouldn't wear that earring anymore. And people are
I must have been
changing each
lucky.
other. No, 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 but those things happen in a relationship. People try
Mm,
to change each other
okay.
along the way and try to make the perfect fit for you, but you already found the perfect fit. The only thing you're doing is turning the other person into a monster that you won't be compatible with anymore at a certain time. And
Mm,
that's when a relationship ends. So the best thing is that we learn to love each other for who we are,
mm-hmm,
and accept each other's faults and each other's shortcomings, and
mm-hmm,
try to adapt ourselves to the shortcomings of the other one. If
mm-hmm,
Sheila has something that I really don't like, I will try to work on it myself to understand why she does it, and try to understand and make sure that I can live with it. But if I try
mm-hmm.
to change that habit or that thing that she has, I'm changing the personality. And the moment I change the personality, I'm changing my soulmate. So that's where it
Well
all goes
said.
wrong. Yeah.
Well said. Thank you. I like that. For everybody, take notes for those of you still searching or looking, or I don't know what it's called. Like I call it internship. In Dutch, it's called sniffle stage, is what I
Sniffle
call it.
stage. Yeah,
If you're
yeah,
still on sniffle stage, then take notes. Then go ahead, take notes. So listen. So you've made a big of a career switch, obviously, and I think a lot of people are. I don't even really truly want to mention 2016, but. Um, I think that, at one point there were things in your life whereby, if I may, actually, I should let you say it, where things changed, because I think that part of, at least people in the Netherlands still think that you're doing comedian. Some people may think that, where is he? What's been going on? Can you tell me kind of a new way without having to tell the whole world, yeah, it was a financial backflash. What happened? And something happened in your life also whereby you decided to make a switch.
Well, in 2016, my show was canceled, and I was on top of the world. I mean, my TV show was going like excellent and everything. But
Hmm.
at a certain moment, the head of the TV company in Holland said, "Well, we need to change, and we needed something different." So we tried to do something different, and then he said, "No, it doesn't work. So we're going to take you off the telly." And at first, I
Hmm.
was really mad about that because I mean, it's like my whole world actually collided back then. And
Sure.
um, what also happened is that I stopped with doing theater as much as I did before because I was concentrating more on doing television. But the biggest mistake I
Because it
made,
was,
and
can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
because
You stopped doing theater?
I was like concentrating more on television,
Oh, you
so
were
I stopped
considering
theater. Yeah,
television. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I bought part of the production company I was in, and I also did some investments because I thought I studied economics. I never finished it, but I thought I was good enough. So I did investments that went wrong, and I suddenly lost a shitload of money, lost my job to become short of it. And the thing was that
Mm.
I thought it was everybody else's fault and that people were trying to backstab me. But
You were
um,
angry? Mm.
I was angry. But reflecting, it was because I never renewed the product. I always stayed and did the same thing, and that's a dangerous thing that happens when you're in media. Is
Yeah.
that if one trick works, that's a trick you stick to, and people want you only for that trick, and that's what they expect from you. And when you don't
Yeah.
change it, so suddenly somebody stands but hey, you should really change it now, and then it's too late. So when I did that, I started saying, okay, but what can I do with the knowledge that I have accumulated through the years, and what I did with
Hmm.
TV, and the people I've met, and the network I have, and the studies that I did? What can I do with that? And I started. I joined a friend of mine, not a friend of mine back then, but I went to a performance company to help me out called Leonard to help me out to see how can I perform better in the things I do business wise and everything. And at first, Benito Dulweit, who's the CEO of the company, he didn't want to help me at all because he said we don't work with
He
famous
didn't want to
people.
help you at all in the
No,
beginning?
he said we
Why?
don't work with famous people because famous people are a pain in the ass, which is true. And
Nice reputation.
but
Hmm.
but I had one thing going for me. I looked a lot like his brother, and he said, "Okay, well, I'm gonna help you
Oh,
anyway."
I
And
see.
we started
Hmm.
working out. I started improving, and things started going really well. And then I picked up
Did you
theater
see each
again a
other
bit.
every week or
We saw each other, yeah, like every week it was quite. He at a certain moment they took off part of my management even because the working together was going really well, and my brand was changing for the better and everything. And then in 2019, I was about to do a big musical with Paul De Leo and with Simone Kleinsman, Hello Dolly, the musical. I was going to be the
yeah.
lead in Hello Dolly, and I was
Oh, you were going
doing
to be the
gonna be yeah,
lead.
I was
Wow.
going to be the lead together with Paul De Leo, and Paul had his
Hmm.
premiere on March 8th, and I was going to have mine on March 14th. And on March
Hmm.
13th, all the theaters closed, and a month after that, they pulled the plug on the production. So
Oh my God.
just I was getting back up in 2020 that was.
Hmm.
They pulled the plug on everything, and I lost 80% of my year income within a month. But luckily enough, I was already working with Leonard, and they said, "Well, why don't you join us in the
Wow.
company?" And they made me part of the C level team. I'm the CIO, the Chief Inspirational Officer. And what I do most is we consult companies with things like diversity and inclusion. We help companies with self growth of the personnel, employability, how to keep the employability intact, happiness in the workplace, and we also have this platform where we, on a very easily way, help people in. I said a transition, especially
Kind
behavior
yeah.
transition, because
Hmm.
it's always hard to measure transition in behavior. But we have this
Hmm.
perfect platform that you can do it. So we're working now with organizations like the police,
So
with
hold on, take a breath, take a breath, take a breath. It's
yeah,
like, I don't know how you can talk so long. Well, I do know how you can talk so long and get paid for
yeah.
it. But how do you, wait a minute, you like backflash. So you go through stand-up comedy theater, having being the lead in a big production with co-lead together
Yeah.
with one of the other Dutch great theater performers,
Yeah, but
then
ever
plug
since
gets
ever since
pulled.
2006,
Hmm.
I was already working on the side as a motivational speaker. I worked a lot with, for instance, Stedman Graham, Oprah's husband. He taught me
Right.
a lot about education, and he taught me a lot about
Amazing. What did he
motivational
teach you about
speaking.
education?
I think the most important thing that he taught me is that it starts with identity, knowing your identity, and knowing who
True.
you are, knowing where you come from, to know where you're going to. And he also
Right.
told me that the most important advice he ever gave me was, "Jürgen, always pilot the seasons of change." And if you pilot the seasons of change, if you're aware of what's coming and what's about to hit you, you're much more
Mm-hmm.
prepared. And I didn't listen to him back then, but in 2016, it was the first thing that I was thinking about. This I didn't pilot the seasons of change, and that's why things went wrong for me. So now
Mm.
I used all that knowledge that I had. I wrote a book about it, even about going almost going broke and losing everything, having big financial setback
Yeah.
and building
Yeah.
up back again. I wrote a book about it. And now, during and because of the book, a lot of people ask me to be a keynote speaker on bouncing back, on how to get your PhD in life. Because I
Mm-hmm.
firmly believe if you have your PhD, you can accomplish everything, and everybody can get my PhD because my PhD is about passion, happiness, and drive.
Happiness
Because
and
if you're
drive. There
passionate
you
about
go.
something, it makes you happy, and if you're happy about what you do, it gives you the drive to get up every morning and just say, "Listen, I'm happy I can go back to work,"
It's
instead of, "Oh my God, I have to go back to work."
it's right now the whole motivation thing is even is becoming a trend. So
Yeah,
time out just a second. So while we're talking, obviously people are making comments, and please go ahead and ask questions. I like Devi Deva. I don't know if you can see it. Jurgen, things happen for you, not to you.
true that.
True that. So the interesting thing is things happen for you. I think a lot of people, what they do think is that things just come, as we say in Dutch, falling out of the sky.
No, but
Things that.
the thing that she says, things happen for you. It's very
Mhm.
true. It's very true. But
Mhm.
the thing is, and uh, don't take this lightly.
No.
Um, Having the how you say it, the sense to understand the true meaning of that, and
Yes.
really living through that, through that belief that things happen for you and not to you. That is sort of
True.
the hardest, one of the hardest things imaginable, because all of us, our first instinct is that things happen to us.
No.
It's very easy to say no, things happen for you, but to really accept that, that takes
Mhm.
another level. And it took me quite some time to really understand that, to live through that, because if you actually really accept that, you cannot complain about anything in life anymore. And
You are
which
so
is
right.
so, you should really understand that.
No, I think thank you for that. I think you're yeah, not I think. I know you're completely right. We share some of the things that have happened in your life, as I always say, and I really I don't know if you have do you have do you do affirmations or anything in the morning? I know I like to get up in the early morning, and I do, there are four things I do every morning. And one of them is meditation and things like that. Is there anything that you do in the morning or in the evening that keeps your soul um, strong, I guess?
There's only one thing I do in the morning, and that is after I'm done, I took my bath and I brush my teeth and everything, and I'm done. I just look in the mirror and I say, "Today is my day," and that's
Ah,
something I do every day. And I just claim my day, so that everything that happens to me that day, I can accept. That everything that happens to me, I can see as a blessing. Yeah, just claim your day. That's how I do it.
what do you teach? I know both the girls, both your daughters are, at least, are they both, they're both out of the
Oh yeah,
house,
sorry.
right?
Savannah
Yeah.
reminds me. There's one thing I do at night. Thank you for reminding me, Savannah. She knows because she gets me. I have these essential
Oh, she's
oils
on
from
there?
doTERRA. Yeah, I have this essentials oil from doTERRA, and every
Uh-huh.
night before I go to sleep, I put two Serenity drops on my pillow, which is like to easily sleep. And I have one
Oh,
drop of eucalyptus that I put on my chest and one in the back of my neck. So that's the fast. That is truly my routine
okay.
every night before I go to sleep.
That's really interesting. So that's completely new for me, but it helps and it makes you feel wonderful, calm, and all those good things.
It makes me feel, yeah, it just makes me sleep better, and maybe it's just a
Uh-huh.
routine, or maybe it's just the rhythm of doing things in a certain way. Because then after I've done that, I put away my phone and I just
Mm-hmm.
think about the day and I fall asleep. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
okay,
those are
we
the
have a
little things that we take for granted, but I really do that every night. Thank you for reminding me, Safana.
good job. So we have a question from Shanti Boy. Jurgen, are you going to go back into the theater?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm doing some theater things. Like, for instance, the day after tomorrow, I'm doing something in the Doelen in Rotterdam, which is a Suriname comedy and music night. And
Mm-hmm.
on Friday, I do a show here for all the people that work in the care business here in Almere. I do a show in the
Okay.
theater, but those are incidental things. Like, I'm a hobby comedian now. Those are not my main income anymore. But I still do
But
it, and I
are
still
you
like
have you
it.
closed comedy off or?
No, no, definitely not. I still like to do it. I mean, the blood goes where it can go. So,
Right,
yeah, I still do my comedy bits and I still write quite often, but it's not as frequently anymore. I mean, if I do it like once in a month or twice in a month, it's more
hmm
than enough for me. I'm busy
right.
enough with the other things I do.
Mm. So tell me also, I think the most important thing that we're talking about here is about our foundation.
Hmm.
Um, I know you're a very creative person. You sing and dance. I hear jazz ballet is even, part of the life. Um, what do you think is the foundation besides, wonderful parents and, even more than that, structure around you have created the person you are? And what do you see? Because I know that don't you hear when you talk to your kids, okay, yours are out the door already,
Yeah.
but I hear my own mom sometimes, and I'm thinking, oh,
Oh, definitely.
for actually, for a fact, when we started talking, you called me Audrey Lynn, and I told you only my mom calls me that, and I need to run. So, or my dad. But tell me what you think has been the most important factor that has made you grounded and get you back on your feet. Is it something your parents taught you? Is it something one of your best friends taught you? Um, Tell me.
I think it's a combination of the women in my life that have always kept me like on the ground, and they always like kept me grounded and make sure that
Hmm.
I never lost what's was really important. Never lost eye of what was really important to me,
Mm.
because it's really easy when you're into, especially when you're in the media and you have your own shows and everything. It's really easy to lose yourself. But
Hmm.
ever since I was a kid, my mom always told me, "Listen, there's only one Jurgen. I know that's you, and always be true to yourself, be true to your family, and just be happy with who you are, and then you can make those around you happy."
Hmm.
And Shayla always told me, I never want to be married to the man that says, I wish I had. So whatever you want to do in
Oh,
life, I'll be
wow.
with you. And just make sure that you do the things you firmly believe in. And
Mm.
those are actually the success factors in my life. I don't doubt it. I mean, with that woman beside me and that woman that brought me up, I think,
Hmm.
yeah, I had two of the best teachers I could imagine.
So no FOMO, no fear of missing out at all.
No,
No,
not at
never.
all. And I've never been one to really go into the whole famous thing, like the limelight
Hmm.
parties and everything, because it was never really my thing. Also, I'm really a family guy, and I think what I do for my family. And
Mm.
yeah,
Hmm.
when I try to be funny at home, my girls and my wife always tell me, "Listen, just behave normal," because we didn't buy any tickets. So so that
I love
it
those
really,
girls.
yeah, it really.
Mm.
I think the
They're funny.
balance is very important in everything that you know, and that's what I
Yeah.
thought. My dad always told me, listen, whenever it goes well for you, never forget those who are not, or who are less fortunate. So I've always
Mm.
did, my ambassadorships on the side, always worked for poor kids or poor people,
Yeah.
try to help out where I can, because that's what I learned from home. And I think it's very important. It's the same things that I try to tell my kids when I've been a UNICEF ambassador now for
Yeah,
15
UNICEF,
years
right.
or longer than
Hmm.
15 years. And I always took my kids
Wow.
with me on trips also, so they could see what the world was like, what was really happening in the world, so they could also see how lucky they were and not take it for
Hmm.
granted. Because I think that's the most important thing that we should learn our kids, and that was what was taught to me is that never take things for granted, and be happy with what you have, and find the happiness in the small things that are going well in your life. So yeah, it's something that you grow up with, and I try to give back to my kids as well.
That's, very important, and I thank you for repeating that because right now in the world, I mean, if you look at the past 20 years, you look at especially at the ages that our kids are, because yours are in the 20 and my daughter is also 22. If you see
Hmm.
what's happened, in these past years, and not only that, I think of communication. I always make a joke when I see, her with the friends. I remember saying, why don't you call so and so? I'm like, call? I go, yes, that's what a phone is for, call.
Yeah,
And the communication, it's not just kids, young adults, it's adults. I see couples sitting across from each other, on their phone, not
thank you, Raisa.
communicating. Sorry?
No, Raisa said something, so I said thank you, Raisa.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
that
No,
the
no, no,
thing
no problem.
about not communicating. Yeah, I know
And
exactly what you're talking about.
on the one hand, not communicating. On the other hand, what's going on in Holland about, well, I don't even know, what do they call the channels where I mean, literally people
The
make
juice
up
channels
stuff.
and things like that,
Juice
yeah.
channels. I don't know when that started, but I
Yeah.
suddenly jumped in and I thought, oh, okay, this now exists. What do you think about social media and about, the way people communicate, and obviously people also in the public eye, but our kids? What do you think is going to happen? Do you see it changing, getting worse?
Yeah, I see it changing, and I use social media as well, and I try to use it for at least 99% to be positive, and I
Mm-hmm.
always use the positive things, and people that that annoy me, I just block them because I don't need any annoyance in my life, and I don't need people that have
Do you
negative
get
energy
people
in
that
my life.
annoy you? Do you,
Sometimes,
yeah,
but I just block them, and
yeah,
that's not even their fault. It's just me because you don't match with me, and I've learned in life that I
right,
don't have time to adapt to everybody. So if you annoy me,
mm,
it's better that we just part ways. And if you're
right,
really important to me and you annoy me, I'll talk to you and tell you what annoys me and see what we can both do about it. But if I don't know you, I don't see the reason why I should invest time in you anymore.
of course not.
But I like to invest time in young people that are searching. So if I have to choose between sitting on Twitter and talking to somebody for half a day, not being able to get to a point of where we agree
Mm-hmm.
but where we can only disagree, and it gets only happier. I rather invest the
Mm-hmm.
time in talking to a young one that I
Mm-hmm.
can help with my experience and tell him how to look at life instead of just um, yeah, tell him what's wrong about life. And the thing
Right.
with social media is, everybody, Clint Eastwood once said, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. And
Ah,
it's true. It's true. Everybody feels that their opinion is the most important opinion. And it took me some while to understand it, that everybody is living in their own reality, and everybody is in their own reality, has their own sense, and is in their own right.
mm-hmm.
The only thing is that if you accept that, um, and you want people to have empathy for your way of thinking, you should also have empathy for their way of thinking.
For their way of
And
thinking, yeah.
and
I think
if
it's, yeah.
if it doesn't match, by all means, go on and live. I won't be in your way, but I won't invest any time in you because I have a lot of other people that can use my time a much better way. So I've learned to live with the fact that there are people that have different opinions, that are very right-minded, people that are racist or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, why should I invest time in that when I have so many
Oh,
people around me that have my mindset, people that think the way that
right.
I
That are
think about life,
positive. Yeah.
that are positive in life? I like to concentrate on those people now. So social media, I'm never looking at Twitter anymore.
So
I still
you're
have an
not,
account, and
Elon
sometimes,
Musk buying Twitter is crazy. He's about to
sometimes I
sell
like
it again.
something. I have this friend called Liana. She's just joined. Sometimes I watch her tweets, and have some other people that I watch the tweets from. But
Okay.
I don't watch. I don't look at Twitter anymore. And I use
No, no
Instagram a lot.
trash.
I just did a trip with Sheila, and we just shared movies on Instagram. And that's for fun. And if you don't like it, please don't follow me and get
Don't
out of my
watch it.
life.
Right.
But yeah, but I mean, everybody is entitled to your opinion, to their own opinion, and I really
Mm-hmm.
learn to respect that. But the thing is, I don't need to share it with you. So if I say
No.
that I don't share you, don't try to convince me.
Mm-mm.
And that's something that I really struggled with during the whole COVID period, where people
COVID
were
period.
against and for vaccination. For I was very for vaccination, I couldn't understand
Mm-hmm.
people that were hesitant against it. But as the years passed, I learned to accept that there were people that are really genuinely scared, or that really didn't want to get vaccinated. For what reason? I learned to accept that. The only thing is, uh, I only wish for them to accept the fact that I am truly for it and that I believe in it. So
Right. But
that's the
that's
only way it's
also,
going to work.
social media is also a platform for everyone to give their opinion. The only thing is I was taught, and I guess I'm old school, is that, if you have something bad to say, don't say it. You can keep it for yourself. It doesn't mean you need to drop everything on there. And I think that what's happening, and on the one hand, that's why I love Instagram Live, because it's live. Obviously, you could save it and everything like that. But it is right there and right now, because I know a lot of friends of mine say that I don't believe anything unless I see moving images, because anyone can place anything on there. And I think,
Yeah.
the media has a very strong position. It's made a lot of money during COVID. is making a lot of money, bringing the
But
war.
even
And I
now
just,
with deepfake, what people are making movies where they can just
yeah,
tell you anything they want. So
anything.
it's really
True.
important that we learn to start thinking critical for ourselves, and that we have
Uh-huh.
critical minds. So let's support on that. Let's start to read again, and let's start to get interested, and not only read the platforms that affirm our way of thinking, but also read others that
Others.
challenge us to think about other things.
True.
And I think that's the only way that we can grow as a people, is by changing our mind sometimes about things. But we're living in a community where changing your mind is unacceptable, because it means you have no backbone. But it's the most humanly thing there is,
I think
changing your mind about anything.
Holland is quite acceptable, because as far as clients we have for the company, things like that, the reason why people move here is because they think we're such liberalists. And is that
Oh no,
something
we're
that you
not. Oh
see?
no, we're not.
No,
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 no. But
no,
the thing
no,
is
no.
that's what's thought. And
That's
and
what's
the
thought there.
interesting thing is that on the other hand, obviously people still think that all Dutch people go to coffee shops. I mean, that old thing, and we eat cheese,
Yeah,
and we all have blonde hair and
I
blue
ride
eyes.
bikes. Yeah.
And we do ride bikes, don't we? Do you?
No, I don't.
But no, you do. We won't go
I
there. Swimming, riding
I have a
bikes.
home trainer which I ride. That's the
You
only
have a
bike I
home
ride.
trainer. You just
Yeah.
stationary bike. But
Yeah.
is that different in Holland? Tolerance?
Yeah, it is, because we've lived with the idea that we are a very tolerant people, but only the fact that we call it tolerant, which means that we don't
Is
accept you, but we
we
tolerate you.
tolerate
I mean,
you?
only that word is, it's a terrible word. So being proud of our tolerance is it's really a false kind of pride that we've been having for years, because we shouldn't be tolerant. We should be accepting of other people, and that's something that the
Nice.
most Dutch people don't have. So being tolerant only means that I tolerate the fact that you're alive, but please don't interfere in my life, and please stay
Ooh.
away. And and I really don't accept you. I just
Mm.
tolerate the fact that you're here. Um, and I think that when we make that mindset and start accepting people for who they are, then
Mm-hmm.
you can talk about a society in which I want to live in.
Mm.
But we've seen the other day, and the thing is, Audrey, um, there's also something that I call reflection, because it's easy to think that everything that's been happening is racist, and you can give it a racist and say that racist label. But at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
it's especially about bias, and bias is something that is grown into our system for centuries and centuries. And the bias can make you do racist things without you even knowing that you're doing racist things.
Mm.
That it is of
Wow.
your
Good point.
pre-assumptions, it is of your pre-assumptions that you get, and those pre-assumptions, they grew on for years and years. I mean, even I, at a
Yeah.
certain moment in life, thought that black people weren't as smart as white people, because all the books that I learned as a kid,
Wow.
all the comic books that I read, and all the children's books, black
Mm-hmm.
people were really portrayed as being stupid and
As
inferior.
being stupid.
So
Wow.
it is something that has grown for centuries, and now we're
Mm.
finally getting to a point where we say, no, guys, listen, we cannot go on like this anymore. And our kids
Yeah.
say, listen, we don't shut up anymore, and we're going to tell you that you
True.
have the same rights and you have the same intelligence and
Right.
everything.
Good.
So
Yep.
it is something happening that has
There's
been.
a shift coming. Yeah.
There's a
Well,
shift
it's
coming.
going on. There, it's
Yeah,
going
and
on.
I
Yeah.
always said the only way to get rid of bias is to know where it comes from. And if you know where your
Mm.
bias comes from, you can work on it, and then you can accept
Yep.
it. And but first you have to know where it comes from. So it is okay to be biased,
Mm-hmm.
as long as you accept it and you know where it comes from and you work on it to change it. But the thing is that most people don't accept their bias, and they see it as truth, and they see it as something that has been engraved in stone, their way of
Yeah.
thinking
It's
about
also the
others.
way they're raised. It's also the way
Yeah.
they're raised, because
But it is
it's.
also a reflection on our part, because as a black person, if people have certain pre-assumptions about me,
Mm-hmm.
I should make sure that no matter how I behave, no matter what I do, I can never give them the satisfaction of letting them
Let
even think the least
get
that
away
they're
with
true,
it.
that is true,
Right.
that they can get away with it. So,
Right.
as I have my pre-assumptions about them, which I have to learn to
Yeah.
accept and have to learn to work around that.
Well
But it
said.
starts with accepting it.
It starts with accepting, and it starts with listening also. And
Yeah.
I think that's a great full circle moment, because I think that um, people in your business, in the business you're in now, and in the business that you've always been in, whether it's stand-up comedy, whether it's acting, presenting, talking, it starts with listening.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting that, like I said to you before we did this interview, one of the things that people consider me crazy is I barely well, I read. Your book is right there. I can't reach you. You want me to prove it?
I,
Oh,
bel-
here
I
I go.
believe you. I believe you.
Okay, here you go.
Oh yeah, that's it.
And
Yeah.
listen, I've got marks in it. So the thing is, I think that, you know, listening is the big thing. I mean, my dad used to always say, "You talk so much, you might as well get paid for it." I'm like, But the funny thing is that I have a quiet side, because I love to listen to stories, which is why the Talk to Audrey show was something that I wanted to do, because I wanted to hear, like I said with you, the man behind the smile. There's so much more to Jurgen than just making you laugh, which I love, which you're still crazy. So I love, and but you're intelligent. I remember hearing you sing for the first time. I was at our aunt's Tante Copy's one of the birthdays, God knows how
Yeah.
long ago. There's so many things. Your intelligence, the will for you to share your knowledge, which I like, and it's not a like, I can't say, I won't say it in English, but it's not a like, give you a feather, but
Yeah.
it's true. I think it's more important to look at the qualities of people that we don't know than to make comments, and that's why it's funny. I use social media for a business standpoint. I like it, to promote the show, but I really think that we are too busy with forming opinions and writing it down. Not everyone is always interested in what someone else has to say, you
Yeah,
know?
that's why.
It's
That's why I said
okay.
the Clint Eastwood thing. People
Hmm.
have opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. I mean, you don't have to
Right.
show it to everybody, right? Just keep
No,
it to
no.
yourself, please.
I'm old school. You
Yeah.
can, go ahead and just nod
Go
and
ahead and just
say,
go with that.
thank you for the hearts. Is somebody slipping and sliding in your house? Listen,
Yeah.
I wanted to just kind of roll off with any people, because I love the sweet people that are watching. Thank you. If anyone still has a question before we have, Jürgen, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions for me? Do you have questions for yourself? Because I
No, I
always
know, I know,
end
really,
with,
because the thing is that, Audrey, I think you and I, we think a lot the same about things in
mm,
life, and that's why
mm,
I mean, it's quite a few times that we sat down and talked,
yeah,
and that's why when you asked me if I wanted to do this today, I said yes right away because that,
thank
like I
you.
said, I like to invest my time in people that think alike
Thank you.
and that
I truly
understand that
appreciate it.
there's a lot that's going on in the world, and there's a lot that's wrong,
Yeah,
there's a lot that's wrong in the world, but
there's a lot to
there's also
do.
still a lot to enjoy in life. There's still a
Right.
lot of good things happening in life, and I've seen, especially when I was really hitting rock bottom, that's when I really saw that if you have like one thing that goes really well in your life and you concentrate on it, it becomes two things, and then it grows and it grows, and you
Oh,
find out that
wow.
the things that are going really well in your life are so much worth to consider than the things that are going wrong, because concentrating on other people's problem and the things that are going wrong, it just
No,
makes you sad and bitter. So concentrate on the
too
things
much
that are really
energy.
going right and going well, and enjoy, especially enjoy what you're doing. Be happy about what you do. Be passionate about what you do, and be passionate about the work that you're doing. Because um, people sometimes tell me, "Yeah, but I cannot be passionate. I just do this job because I need work." And I tell them, "Listen, like you're doing this because you're passionate about listening to people. If you're not passionate about listening to people, you can learn how to listen to people, and once you learn how to listen to people, you will see how nice it is and how fun it is, and you'll start to enjoy it. And the more you start listening, the better you get in it, and it becomes a passion when you're good at it. And when it becomes a passion, it makes you happy, and then it gives you the drive to just do it every day over it. So find the happiness and find the passion in the things that you do, and I promise you that life will be much better.
There's no better end, JR. There's no better end. I want to thank you for this. I want to thank you for your time. I love learning from you. I love listening to you, and I love talking with you. And thank you for talking to me, for spending this time on this Ascension Day, because it's a holiday in Holland.
Oh yes, Hemelvaart.
Hemelvaartsdagavond. I thank for everyone watching now, watching later. I wish everyone the best, and I hope that you join us again and again. And go listen and read more about Jurgen. Um, I want to plug it. I know it's a while back, but still,
Yeah.
you know, it's a Dutch book. It's Raymann zoekt raad, and some of the letters are missing, and it's in a Dutch thing. But go look on things on YouTube with JR. I call him JR, Jörgen
Yeah.
Raymann. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much
sweetie.
for being here. Thank you for being
Thank you,
my
dear.
guest. All right.
Yeah, it
Have a
was an
nice
honor.
evening.
Yeah,
Bye,
and tomorrow,
everybody.
tomorrow I'm back on Instagram. I'm talking to Giovanni Chen, and I'm talking to Biggie Boy Rosenstrike, the MMA fighter from Suriname, and he's fighting Saturday
On
again.
Instagram?
So, huh? It's on
On your
Instagram
own
tomorrow. Tomorrow, Young
Okay,
and
good.
09.
What
Yeah,
time?
people should
What
watch.
time?
And nine on Instagram.
9
Yeah, just
in
come
the
to my
evening.
story and you'll find you will
In
listen it. You will see
in the
what
evening,
happens
right?
in the evening. Yeah,
Thank God.
yeah,
We don't do mornings.
definitely. Okay,
Good.
sweetie.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
darling.
Thank you
Thank you
for
for
all
the
the
time.
hearts
Thank you
coming
for
up.
listening.
Love you all. All right.
Love you too.
Bye. I
Bye
gotta
bye.
drop out. I'll say bye to everybody. I'll talk to you. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you very much for listening. And I say goodbye to you in the Talk to Audrey show. I wish you all a really, really good evening. And I thank Jürgen for joining us. All right. Bye.